Donuts are happiness shaped into a circle, soft, warm, and sweet enough to make your worries melt away. But to Florence, it was a different case. Florence was known on Peku Street as the best donut baker in the whole town. Her donuts tasted like magic. People said her name made her a master. Florence, flower. So everyone said it was her calling. After all, her beauty was something else. One look at her smile could make your heart forget your problems. Some people even borrowed money just to buy donuts, because if you didn't buy, how will you have excuse to stare at her? Everyone wondered why her donuts tasted so sweet. Even the big food places like Kilimanjaro and Crunchies couldn't match the taste. Florence, teach us your donut recipe now. Some big ladies in the area will always beg her. Florence would just smile softly. It's simple. I learned everything I know today on YouTube. Go and search for donut recipe. And learn too. Not just for watching movies only. She said. They left in disappointment because they wanted to learn from her directly. Soon, Florence's name spread everywhere inside the town and outside the town. Every day new people arrive at her shop. She was becoming famous and popular. But something strange bothered the people. She was always alone. No assistant. No workers. Yet, she produced tons of donuts daily. One day, a very beautiful lady named Michaela came to her shop. Florence, I have been meaning to ask, how do you do all these things alone? Because I have not seen anybody working for you. Michaela asked suspiciously. Florence smiled. I trained for this. Assistants are distractions. I don't have the strength to shout at anybody. I'm just okay the way I am. Besides, I'm not complaining. Michaela didn't believe that. She didn't trust Florence at all. Something in her spirit kept warning her about Florence. It's okay. I will be on my way now, she said and left. Okay, bye-bye, Florence said, and in her mind she was like, why won't she just mind her business? So later that evening, Michaela hid and waited for her to close, and then she followed her closely to know where she lived. But Florence noticed that someone was following her. She was just pretending and smiling in her mind. As she entered a narrow dark road, she disappeared. Michaela stood confused. I thought I just saw her now, she asked herself. She cleaned her eyes, yet didn't still see her. When she turned to go back, Florence was right behind her, her eyes full of anger. Oh, there you are. You scared me, Michaela whispered, trying to smile. How did you get there? Because I thought I was at your back, Michaela added, shaking. Why are you following me? You don't like minding your business, right? Florence's voice was cold and harsh. Before Michaela spoke again, Florence pointed at her. Michaela fell to the ground, screaming in pain. A strange illness entered her body. It weakened her slowly. She couldn't talk or say a word. By morning, she was found dead like a dry leaf thrown on the road. No mark. No wound. Just gone. The village started shaking with fear, wondering what happened to the lady. But Florence still sold her donuts with a calm smile. More crowds. More customers. More strange deaths. It was as if nothing was happening at all. No one suspected her at all. One night, a man was just passing, and he could sight something from outside, so he was pushed to enter the shop. He saw Florence laughing and talking to herself, and he decided to check well. He saw that she was talking to the flower on the floor. He wondered what it meant. Then, he watched her remove her shoes and enter into the flower like water. She sat inside, disappeared, then came out again, still laughing. He tried to record the whole thing with his phone. At the same point, he was so afraid. When he was done, He turned to leave after recording, but the door locked itself. Florence's voice echoed from inside the walls. Where do you think you are going to? You people don't have sense in this area. Just watching other people's lives, and not minding your business. Let me teach you a lesson. She pointed at him and immediately, his mind went blank. His voice disappeared. He walked out of the shop like a robot. He was no longer himself. By morning, he was also found dead. The villager began wondering again. This is another person. No wound. No mark. They knew it wasn't something natural. This whole situation got to the palace of the king. The king was so shocked, because nothing of such has ever happened before in this land. The king summoned the herbalist to come and explain to them why people were dying without any trace. The elders were present with the king in the palace as well. The herbalist looked into his cowries. He started the incantation, but saw nothing. The elders suggested whether they have offended the gods. They said that cleansing should be done to appease the gods, and everyone must appear at the palace on that day. The king liked the idea. Yeah, because this same thing happened in Gabola community that year, and they did the same thing. Immediately, he summoned the town crier to announce to the people. The town crier went round the entire village telling the people about the importance of the cleansing and no one must open his or her shop on that day. On that special day, everyone assembled in the palace, except Florence. Where is that donut lady from Peku Street? Someone asked as they gathered. Nobody could answer. Nobody even knew where she lived. Soon, it reaches the king that she wasn't there. He asked the guards to bring her here for disobeying orders. The guards went to her shop, but no one was there. She was inside, but they couldn't see her anywhere. They had to go back to the palace after searching the place. After some days, the herbalist later returned to the king. My king, the problem is that donut lady. She is not human. She is from the marine kingdom. She is eating souls. The king trembled. We must stop her before she finishes everyone. The next day, guards attacked her bakery. Everyone should leave here now. One of the guards shouted. Why should we leave? A customer stood up boldly and asked. Are you disobeying the king's orders? He asked. Soon with the anger, the guards attacked immediately and all the customers ran as everything was destroyed. When they tried to grab Florence, she disappeared before their eyes. She has disappeared, one of them said. Don't worry, we will come back for her. She can't run forever. Another said and they all went out and shut down the bakery. The news was everywhere in the town, and they all shocked. Those that didn't eat from her place thanked God for their lives. Months passed. Florence never returned back to the Peku Street. People breathed fresh air again. Peace came back gradually and people were no longer dying. Meanwhile, in another village called Ekamba, Florence was still selling her donut. People from that Ekamba loved her so much. Within weeks, she had so many customers, more than in Peku's community. She was so popular there. This new lady is so beautiful and hardworking. The women will say, how I wish my son could marry her. Another said, which son? Is it that your useless son we all know? Another mocked. Soon, they say nothing lasts forever. Someone from Peku's community came to visit someone from Ekamba community. He heard rumors about the lady and it sounded like the one they experienced over there in Pekus. So in order to be sure, he went into the street and saw her for himself. Then immediately he went back to his community and reported to the king. The herbalist fortified the guards and directed them on what to do to get her and bring her back. Florence didn't know what was coming for her. She was just in the market one afternoon when the guards entered. Immediately she saw them. She wanted to disappear, but they stopped her from disappearing. They all came prepared. The whole market was in shock and they watched everything that happened there. After all the encounter, they finally held her captive and took her away. She was forced to confess in front of everyone there. She did, and the people were so shocked. They directed that she should be taken away and not to see the surface of the earth again. She was shamed by the market women. The guards took her away. When they got to the king passed a judgment that Florence should be taken to the evil forest and be buried alive. Everyone supported. This will teach others lesson that we don't encourage evil in this community. Immediately, they took her, and everyone followed shaming her. She was crying, but they didn't show her mercy, no pity. Nobody defended her. She screamed and cursed as they pushed her into the ground. Sand covered her head. Florence was gone forever. The people were so happy, and the Pecos was back to its normal state. The end. Moral lessons. Evil will always end in shame. Beauty can deceive. Not everything sweet is good. Mind your business. Curiosity can put you into trouble, or even kill you. Don't trust everyone just because they smile. When something is too good to be true, check well. Be careful with strangers. Not all who come are sent by God.